Good to be here tonight. I don't know what he's ready or not. Don't matter. It's good to be here. Just thank God for each one of you coming out tonight. I don't think he's got the mic on yet. Maybe. Rick and Pam's camping. And unfortunately, it looks like they've started the same habit they had last year. They camp, it rains, so Karen said we was going to start picking at them, say, tell them when we want it to rain, schedule your camping trip so we'll get rained in. Just to pick at them a little bit, but yeah. Hopefully that's not the case, but unfortunately it looks like his first trip. And I didn't know till a while ago, Jimmy was telling us supposed to, along with rain tomorrow, the wind's supposed to get gusty, real gusty. Damaging winds possibly, so that's not something that we want to hear either, but you know, the Lord's in control, and he spares us a whole lot of times that, and we don't never deserve to be spared, but he spares us a whole lot of damaging winds around here that we could have, but you know, just thank God for that he is in control of the weather and man ain't, because I'd make a mess of it, I know, but you know, it sure is a blessing that when he sends us rain, we need the rain. But unfortunately, some of us wasn't ready for spring. It sprung early on me, and I didn't catch the winter projects up, so I'm going to be behind all year now. I don't see what's going to happen with that. And part of life is a farmer. Anyone that got anything to do with farming, you realize that you might as well figure you'll be behind. But, you know, God's good to us. He's blessed us. And like I said, just thank God for the rain he does send. And a lot of people enjoys mowing more than I do, too, mowing yards. Neighbors getting mowed every week already. I ain't mowing every week unless I have to. But anyway, that's just, like I said, this life, we get consumed by it, and I'm the worst one. And but you know, he blesses us with all this, and how can you not look out and see God's work in all everything? And you know, just we talk about the moon, the stars, and sometimes I go to the chicken house at night and I walk instead of, and then you walking back up where it's dark, you can look up and see all the stars. I've got too many yard lights around everywhere else that you can't see, but it's beautiful. Just look up and see the stars, and just about the creation, how God's put everything in place. And like I said, just thankful each one of y'all has made their way out tonight, and y'all just pray for Rick and Pam. Give them a safe trip and a good time away from things. They deserve it. And things that's bothering him some. He needs to get away once in a while. And his daddy and everything else, just keep praying for him too. And let's remember the ones in church is sick. Good to see Jerry here last Sunday, and just continue to pray for him and Roger and the others. And let's remember Randy. It was mentioned Sunday. His cancer's come back again. Just remember him, and I think Sheila's going through treatments too. Is that right, or she's having surgeries? Having surgeries. Just remember her, and I can't remember. And I know Jimmy had something. He had a heart attack or something not long ago, or something, didn't he? Anyway, I seen Scott the other day, and I didn't even ask him how his mom and daddy was doing. But y'all remember that family too. Any others? Prayer requests?
I'm going to be having surgery on the 26th.
remember this. Knew that was coming up sometime, didn't know when, for sure.
It's not a prayer request, but if everybody, we're gonna try to see if we can do like the 50th Sunday this Sunday. So we
Huh.
can try to, we're gonna do it last Sunday, but we moved it up to this Sunday. So most of them know what to do, the rest of them will let know. So just make sure you get your books and stuff for 19th.
Huh. Well, yeah. You can have this one, or we can get you 10 of them if you need 'em. But yeah, but yeah, I picked at them because they've been getting out of the fifth Sundays, but I shouldn't have done that. And but anyway, it is good that we get our youth involved, and I appreciate each one of them. And when they take part, it's a good thing. Like I said, I got my start that way. Brian got his start that way. You know, sometimes it leads to other things, but it does help you. It does help. And some of us fail anyway, no matter what start we get. But any other prayer requests?
I've got some special requests on them. And I need to prioritize. I got to mention that for 16. And some more skin cancer stuff out.
Just remember Ted and these other requests he has. Like I said, remember each other. And like I said, that's one thing I try to stress. We need to pray one for another because we never know what anybody's going to face. I may have issues going on that I don't even know about yet, but the Lord knows all about it before we get there. That's one thing that we can thank God for. He knows before we ever get there. He's, He's always there ahead of us. He's always there waiting on us to get to that point when we need Him the most. A lot of times. And, any other prayer requests? Just remember these requests. Like I said, Mama's not been, her legs bone ball her some, so y'all pray for her too. And Karen's mama and daddy. We can't figure out everything that's going on a lot of times. But like I said, God knows. We just need to keep all the older ones in prayer. It's been mentioned like that before. Ellie with her problems that she's going through. We never need to forget to remember these. It's going through health issues and no, I hadn't. Just remember Dot and Gail too, because like I said, I've not heard much from her. Sometimes she'll bring checks over here to put in the church and give Rick. Don't know how she's doing or they're doing. And Rick had went and seen Betty Billings a while back. She's in the nursing home, I think, in Statesville. Just remember her too. Any other prayer requests? Cool. If not, ask Brother Jimmy if you would lead some prayer. No.
Our Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you tonight, Lord, we just come with thankful hearts, Lord, thank you for the day you give us. Thank you for the rain that you send us our way today, Lord. We're just so thankful for your love, grace, and mercy. For everything you do for us, Lord, for all those things that we take for granted. Lord, those things on a daily basis. We ask, Lord, that you just there and do better service than we do. Lord, there's been so many prayer requests that are mentioned here tonight, Lord, you know each need. We ask Heavenly Father, Lord, you just reach down and touch you, and do your will to heal according to your will, Lord, that your will be done in each and every situation that they are. Lord, we mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, God, we ask, Lord, that you just bless, Lord, to each one of us here tonight, Lord, we all do have a need, Lord, some have special needs, Lord. Brother Ted asked for help tonight, Lord, we ask God you just touch him, bless him, Lord, heal him with his cancer, Lord, and be thou with all those with cancer and other diseases, Lord, you know each need, Lord, and each one that's on our hearts and minds tonight, Lord, and we ask, Lord, you lead with Miss Elizabeth, right, Lord, you touch her, touch her legs, Lord, and help her, and God, for each one of the one Brian mentioned tonight, the fire department, Lord, and their situations they've got going on, parents, Lord, just ask, Lord, that you just bless them in a mighty way. And Lord, there's so many that we can't remember, Lord, but you know that those that are sick in the church, Lord, we just ask God you bless them, touch them and heal as well as you have them to be, Lord. Most of all, Lord, our hearts are there for the lost, God. If they see that thing first, prepare to be late, God, that you just let them see the need of salvation, Lord. That, you know, as the old song goes, this world has many opportunities, and eternity only has two, God. And we just pray, Lord, that you just help them, Lord. Help those that are bereaved tonight, Lord, that you send a comfort to them, Lord, in their time, and send the love to them, Lord, that they need, and that you show upon us each and every day, God. Again, Lord, we're thankful for, Lord, thank you for saving us, thank you for dying for us, and thank you for that sin there. Lord, we'll never be able to repay. We ask Heavenly Father, Lord, that you use us where it is that you see fit. And we'll do our best, God, to always give you praise and honor and glory for all you do for us. So for these things we do ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yeah. I read somewhere but I think it's going somewhere different, but it's still more much in the same part of the Bible. But like I said, y'all just pray for me. Seem like I'm the worst of the worst as far as not being prepared sometimes, and then sometimes me and Rick's talked about it. You can be prepared and you get here and it'll change all of a sudden. Brian's probably been there too. And you think you got everything. Yeah. It's good to know God. God can just change things pretty quick. I'm hoping this is what he's intended me to switch to. I was going to talk about Noah's time here in just a little bit, and we're still going to be there. But we're going to talk about the wickedness that happened before the flood. The 6th chapter of Genesis, beginning in verse 1. And because I was going to talk about the rainbow, which we allow us to be able to see, or it calls it a bow in here. It don't call it rainbow in here, it just calls it a bow. But we know what it is. But probably be able to see one of them in a day or two. Or, I don't know what the rain will end, whether the sun's still shining tomorrow or not. But, you know, he don't always let us see that bow, but we know it's always there. When the rain ends, we know it's always there. We all as Christians, we know what that rainbow's all about, that bow that he puts in the sky. But, you know, it's pretty when we do see them. But, like I said, we're going to start here in the 6th verse, chapter 1 of Genesis. And we're going to just read it and maybe discuss a little bit about it. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. Then, anybody seeing kind of resemblance what's happening now? It's not, I mean, back in this time it said evil thoughts was continual. Now it's, to us it seems like it's worse now than it would have been back then. But I guess it was about the same. But, you know, continually. And the Lord, you know, was grieved that he even created man at this time. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. These are the generations of Noah. Noah is a just man and perfect in his generations. And Noah walked with God. And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. And God looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, The end of all flesh is come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. We just look today, I mean, we read on through here, and we know, and we might just go ahead and read this in a minute, but we know that God made a covenant with Noah that after, I mean, you know, Noah built the ark here, or and to the descriptions, to the exact instructions that God gave him, he built the ark, and that you know, that he was going to destroy all of flesh except for Noah and his family here. But we know that this happened during the flood, and he promised with the bow that he would never destroy all mankind again with a flood. But he's not promised that he wouldn't ever destroy mankind again, though. Which we know pretty much that the next time that he destroys all men, it's probably going to be with fire and brimstone again to finish the earth up, and as we know it right now. But you know, the wickedness and all the imaginations of this time, and with the technology we have now, it's corrupted us more than it was back in this time. Well, they didn't have any technology. They didn't have all these phones and stuff back then. They didn't have any of this stuff back then that could corrupt our minds. Our minds were more easily corrupted now than what they was back in Noah's day. And, but we don't really know what Noah's days was like. It's sort of like Sodom and Gomorrah. We can read what it tells us what and all was going on there. And this tells you that man was wicked. Like I said, they can thought evil things all the time. They tried to come up with evil things all the time, continually. And that seems like it's a big part of our world anymore right now. That everybody, not Christians, but the world that's going on around us, we're not supposed to be part of anyway. But it seems like they're thinking evil continually in this world, trying to do everything they can. And right now, they are trying to make sure they tear down Christians all they can, or God. They're trying to go against God all they can. And we know that's only going to last so long. They're only going to get by with that so long. God's only going to take it so long. It's sort of, it's concerning to us as Christians because they're so evil, so wicked. But we know that they're not going to win, that God's going to win it. He's going to take care of all of it. And He's going to take care of us through all the things that we go through in this life. Just like He took care of Noah, He's going to take care of His people. But, we don't need to let ourselves get slid into these things that's going on around us. And we need to make sure we try to pull people out of the world into God and not let the world pull people away from God. And it seems like that's happened a lot. Since COVID, it seems like it's pulled a lot of people out of churches. It's pulled a lot of people out. And y'all know as good as I do, if the devil can talk you out of staying at home one Sunday, he's won a little bit of victory. And he tries to keep that continuing and get you out of church. It's what he's trying to do. It's like I told you Sunday. We missed last Wednesday night because we took off for a little bit. It seemed like the longest week as far as between coming to God's house. It seemed like a long week. But like I said, I like to be here and like to be amongst God's people. But we were still amongst God's people, even though we wasn't here. We got to see some good people. But it's just not the same being in fellowship with God. But we got to be careful and not let the world try to get us. And that's what they're trying to do right now. Like I said, everything that's trying to tear down Christianity, trying to tear down God. They mock God in some ways. I've been shown some things that's going around on the internet and stuff that they're living in a dangerous place there when they mock God. When they're mocking God and saying He's the bad person and all this, that Satan was the good person and God was the bad one. That's a dangerous territory, I think. And I don't want to be in that territory. I just wouldn't want to have to answer that one. But we see that, like I said, Noah had found grace with God, and him and his kids and his sons, and would all be in this covenant or promise that that God made between him and Noah and him, And it says, as far as building an ark, it says, "Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Room shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch. And this is the fashions which thou shalt make it. the length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, and the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. A window shalt thou make to the ark, and in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh wherein is the breath of life from under heaven, and everything that is in the earth shall die. But with thee will I establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee, and of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee, to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for the food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. I was talking to somebody, and they said Noah was probably a hated man there in this time when he was building the ark and everything, because the wickedness that was going on, and they didn't pull him into it. You know, sort of like as Christians nowadays, we're fighting that battle every day. Someone mentioned to me that Noah was probably in that same battle with the people around him. They was trying to pull him into that stuff, and he stayed away from it. So we can sort of see it in our lives going on now, that people tries to tear you down. They was trying to tear him down, and they thought they was making fun of him because he was building the ark here and it never rained. But, you know, they was doing everything he could, throwing all kinds of stones at him because he hadn't fell into the wickedness of the world either. And but I hadn't never thought about him being a hated person during this time. But, you know, when the ark was shut, there was a whole lot of hatred there then. When the rains come, you know, and he didn't shut the door. Noah couldn't shut the door, I don't feel like. I feel like that was God's decision when that door was shut. That was when the floods came. And, you know, and I don't know that Noah couldn't open the door until it was over with either. That was in God's, you know, God's control, I feel like there. But, you know, at that time, you know that he was hated. But, you know, he was despised, he was rejected, I'm sure. You know, I think during this time, Noah was probably trying to preach to him, maybe, or speak to him about God. But there's just a lot in this, but it's just a comparison. I mean, if we just think about it, and the world that's going on around us right now, and how wicked things has got, it could have been just as bad then, but technology and stuff seems like it's made it worse on us. But we know that Jesus' time here on earth, his 33 years, he faced the things we faced. I mean, maybe in different ways, but he looked to God for the leadership and guidance all the ways. He was always in tune with him. He lived here without sin, and that, you know, he was always here. He's been here from the beginning anyway, or he's been from the beginning. But we just see here that Noah found grace with God, and you know, we found grace with God when he came to us and asked him to be one of his children. We found grace with God when we answered that call to be one of his children. That was when we found the grace, wasn't it? That was when we You that mercy and grace that he gives us. Anybody got anything on any of this? I've sort of done, I guess, a reading through and skipping through, but
Because of the board work, and I wanna go about this, about how it works to show and how he's confused, cause, he just showed where scientists were claiming that you couldn't, even if you flooded the earth with 100% precipitation everywhere, that it couldn't flood like that. And on they were talking about it, and he said, well, you have to say something like that when scientists have figured that out. And I told him, and I'm just thankful for it that it come to mind, but I told him, I said, well, it just proves them scientists can't read.
mhm.
He kind of got astonished, looked at me, he said, what are you talking about? I said, you can't read. He said, because you're not reading the story.
Mhm.
They're taking what they want to hear and then trying to disprove before they even know the entirety of the story. Because it says there that Sunday where all the fountains of the great deep broke.
Mhm.
It wasn't just rain that done it. It was the cisterns and fountains of the deep in the ocean that flooded the earth. It wasn't just the rain. And they get hung up on that and they try to disprove this and that. The devil's good at that. And he knows how to kick people off guard, but people really, they pick and choose and read what they want, God's word, and try to disprove. But I'm thankful others don't have to read far and find it. Oh, they missed a spot here and there.
Mhm.
And that little spot of scripture that they missed completely disproves everything they ever said.
Mhm.
Yeah, he just, people just, they don't, I don't know, they don't want to believe it. They talk about, he mentioned fish too, and all, and I said, well, once again, that's just where they can't read. It says in verse 22, and all whose nostrils was the breath of life, and all that was in the dry land died.
Mhm.
It's in the book. People, and it's sad because as evil as this world is right now, they're also that gullible and naive and, believe, like you was talking about, well, about following songs everywhere, they believe what Google tells them before they believe what God's word tells them.
Mhm.
We all know that in this room, that Google ain't always right. I'm just thankful that every time they bring up any kind of questions and they're doubting God and they think they've got God back up against the wall, we'll just take the time to read His Word and find out that God proves Himself through every bit of His Word. What He done was real and fact, we can count on.
It's funny that you say that about Google. Tonight before supper, we was cutting potato, going over some of Becca's history for today, and it was, her history, her homeschool that she wrote about the flood,
Mhm.
and, how the age group, before the flood, people were living hundreds of years.
Mhm.
And, Methuselah was supposedly the oldest man to live. He was 960 years old, I believe, according to what the Bible says. Well, Google don't say so. Google says he was different age, because I got that right. I Googled it. It says.
Mhm. Mhm.
But when the flood, after the flood, the average lifespan went to 70.
Mhm.
That's what we're in today. That's your average lifespan is for 70.
Mhm.
But I was trying to find out why was it, what caused that big a difference between before the flood and after the flood? Was it that the flood, how did the flood have anything to do with the difference in the age? You know what I'm saying? I never did find the reason. But anyhow, when you Google something, it always will have
Mm-hmm.
You notice that, they'll have another question or something that relates to that. But I kept going through it, and it got down to Adam and Eve. It said, well, did Adam and Eve go to heaven? And then the answer to that was, well, nobody knows, because the Bible doesn't mention anything about them being saved, but it also doesn't mention anything about them being lost.
Mm-hmm.
So it don't mention anything about being lost, but it did mention that they sinned.
Mm-hmm.
And Terry said, well, yeah, Adam sinned first and then Eve did. Becca corrected her, said, no. Eve sinned first, then Adam was second, because they're there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then it even goes down and asks if Adam and Eve had a belly button. You see, it goes, the more you read, the difference is. And one of them said, one of the answers was that they couldn't kind of have a belly button because they weren't born of a woman. So you can really get yourself in
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it keeps going.
Yeah.
Because they were created, so why would they need a belly button? So that's part of God's image was, you know, if she had to have a belly button, or how would life continue going? Because that's part of a woman reproductive organ is the belly button. You got to have that biblical for it to be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, as you say, the more Google, so them phones have really messed this world up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just as guilty to look stuff up like that. I really am. I just, you know. But the question that brought all that up tonight was, well, if he lived to be 960 years old, is that truly our 960 years? Is that how it would he be? Was he truly 960 years old as we see?
Mm-hmm.
But the Bible says a year is a day is a year. So
Mm-hmm.
how many years actually was he?
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure it out. But the Bible says 960 years old is 960 years old.
Yeah.
But it wasn't in our calendar. Couldn't have been in our calendar because that didn't start until 2000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
How many days was in a year and how many, was he 960, 365 days a year old?
Yeah. 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 Time was different then. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you was talking about the age. I don't know. Was that so? He was hoping that man wouldn't get so corrupt, or that they thought they'd live on, or was time calculated different, or
Yeah,
I-
be calculated different. That's the only way I can come up with.
yeah, it talks about 70. That's what we're promised is 70. But you can always shorten days or you can lengthen days. But yeah, I think.
It went on to tell you who's always going away. And some of that is interesting that because you look back in the King James versions of everything, those all match up to what the Bible said. That Sarah was the oldest woman. She lived to be 120 years old. So that's possible to be this time,
Mm-hmm.
but not likely.
He was talking about Methuselah was 960. Well, Noah was 950 according to this, because in the 29th verse of the 9th chapter, because I read that earlier, it said, in all the days of Noah were 950 years, and he died.
But he was the third oldest.
Yeah.
The second oldest was Jerry.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, he was 960 something, it's all like that.
Yeah, I can't remember all them ages either, but like you said, you wonder if time, the 900 and some years, if it was the same, because
So if you age,
the rate we do, yeah, I mean, you couldn't get around, could you? Not the rate we're going at. At 900 years old, I mean, my goodness. I don't know. It's got to be a little different time as far as that somehow.
yeah.
But the average lifespan, I think, was 120 years.
Yeah. But they were had 600 wives and 3,000 youngins that by then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So who was it that had 700 wives? Solomon? Was it Solomon? Solomon had 700 wives and 300, concubines, yeah.
And that's how he's the wisest man on.
Yeah.
So, you know.
A lot of that's interesting, they tell you, like, just talking out openly too, like, the curse of sin, you know, they talk about, well, like when we do the ark, the creation, and all that, they talk about the time when man walked with, dinosaurs, that type of stuff, and how the scripture in Job talks about behemoth and all that. And then, everybody associates automatically in their mind, the dinosaurs is all they, we think of T-Rex,
Mm-hmm.
but according to what they told us there, a lot of that animal was not the meat eaters we thought of.
Mm-hmm.
And that was I mean, that was, and that would make sense as why we could live and tell about it today at all, because if we lived during a time period where there's a 9-foot T-Rex walking around, we're not at the top of the food chain at all.
Hmm.
We're hurt.
Yeah.
But they talked about that, how the curse of sin brought on carnivores and all that. It was interesting to think about that. And I wasn't there, and I don't know, but I can see how that makes sense though, because we know they were here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go too far in the United States to dig to know they existed.
Mm-hmm.
And all that stuff's interesting, but they brought that out, and I never thought about it earlier that way, but the curse of sin had to even affect animals, how God done with all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it had to change everything though.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it though, it does make sense, but sin, when it happened, we went from a perfect world to that curse affecting everything,
Mm-hmm.
even to the animal.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about, one wrong to the,
Mm-hmm. But we always talk about Adam and Eve. If Adam and Eve had got through without sin, somebody would have sinned somewhere. I mean, if the serpent hadn't got them to do it, somebody somewhere would have been the first ones to sin.
I get asked about that one a lot too, that just, people just don't wanna hear that a good loving God has got to give man free will
Mm-hmm.
to get genuine, real deal praise back from man. You have to give them a choice, or, if we were all robots and praising God just because we didn't have a decision in the matter, then that ain't genuine.
Yeah. Well, it's just like the choice of salvation. He gives us that choice. You know His will, or He wants us to want to be His child. God don't send anybody here, or He doesn't allow people to be born that He doesn't want to be His child. But He gives us free will, like you said, to make that choice.
He don't send us to hell. We should
No,
do that.
exactly. We make that decision. I mean, people makes that decision not to accept Him, because it plainly says that everyone has that chance. Does it not? It says everyone will have at least one chance to come to know Him. So, and God's not a liar. So everyone's going to have one chance.
But I believe that there are those that will never reach that age of accountability.
Well, yeah, you're right there, too.
And I just say that they have a shoe in. They're guaranteed a place in heaven.
Yeah. Because they'll never know the sin, the way we know sin has been wrong. They'll never know
They'll
that.
never be able to understand comprehension.
Exactly. I got you.
So, and to me, that's, when somebody asks me about that, if they ever do, that's not gonna be my answer. They'll never reach age accountability, so they don't have to worry about it.
Mhm.
So they live to be, if they get older, they live to be 200 years old. They'll never reach that age accountability. And then when they say why they did that, people don't know.
Exactly, because it's never told.
Some people will argue, he says, I will tell you this 13, but I've never seen it, nobody's ever shown me. I've looked for it, and I've never found it. Hey, you're at school one time.
But you know, you're right there. But it tells us to come as a child, but that don't mean that we have to be a child to get saved.
Right.
I think that's what he wants in that, as far as come as a child. I think the joy of a child receiving the gift, I think that's what he wants us to have, that joy, no matter what age we get, come to know him. He wants us to see that abundant joy come from us when we accept him. I think that's what it means as far as coming as a child. I may be totally wrong. But you know how kids are when they get a gift. They're excited. I think that's what he wants us when we come and get salvation from him. He wants us to be excited about it. And I think each one of us, when we had that time in our life that we accepted him, we was excited about it. I mean, it was a joyful, happy time that we accepted him. Some of us fall backwards sometimes, and I say there. I hadn't kept all of the joy that I needed to all the years. I just think that's part of living in this flesh. We just can't always live like we need to. I guess we've gone long enough. I don't know if the kids are trying to come in or not. Anybody else got anything? I like to do discussions myself. We're all afraid to say anything when Rick's here, but no, I'm just picking. But like I said, sometimes we keep quiet. But that's one thing I tried to do back there, is get them thinking on their own. I don't try to teach them. I mean, I try to teach them, but I want feedback from them. Is what they're thinking, and I may be doing that all wrong, but I'm hoping it's helping them to have their minds of their own. And like I said, sometimes it's been interesting back there. Sometimes it gets interesting. And that's one of the Sundays that I found out that God's the bad person and Satan was the good person. They had made a cartoon, and they had seen that. I'm like, really? Whoever made that cartoon, I don't want to be in their shoes. I've got enough to answer for, but to try to go against God, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. Anybody else got anything tonight? But there is a lot of questions about the ages. I've always wondered that too. But the way God sees time, does he even see that it's been over 2,000 years since Christ died, or does he just see it like it's been a day or two? I mean, you know what I mean? Because the way it says a day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is a day. Time don't matter that much to him. I mean, really, it just don't matter, because God's infinite, eternal.
Because it is that, he's only been gone a couple of days.
Yeah. But I mean, I just, that's how my mind thinks sometimes. I mean, how does he really? But he has been gone a long time. But how does God actually see it? I mean,
I do believe there's going to come a day when we get up there, we're going to have answers, really good questions and answer sessions where we ask them some of them. It's just like the song says, we'll understand it better by and by.
yeah.
I look forward to it. Then we'll go there and sit down.
But when we get there, yeah, when we get there, it won't matter then. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Exactly,
I
I
mean-
think you're right, we won't be wondering none of this stuff.
no, he may instantly give it to us when there are times, I mean, I don't know. Just like I said Sunday though, we're supposed to be practicing praising him here because that's all we're going to be doing when we get there, ain't it?
Right.
Praising him.
Yeah, we'll not too much.
Yeah, our minds couldn't handle what knowledge he's got. We can't. I mean, there's a lot of people read through this, and a lot of people have said they understand it all. But if you actually understand every word in this Bible, could your mind contain it? Truthfully, I mean, mine can't even imagine it. You know what I mean? We're supposed to read it, and we're supposed to study it, and we're supposed to get the understanding of all of it. But the actual,
But another problem lies there, is you read it twice and you don't want to understand.
yep,
And it may not be the first thing, same thing every time.
you're right there too. That's one thing I love about it. You can read it, same passage. I don't care how many times you read it, something different might pop out at you each time. It's called the living word, is it not? That's what I think's living about it, because the Holy Ghost shows us something different in it, or the Spirit, Holy Spirit, not Holy Ghost. And Jesus, God, just shows us something different each time we read it. Anything else? Anybody else got anything? I didn't mean to interrupt anybody just saying anything either. And apologize for that, but it's just good to be one of his children. I am very thankful for that. But I fall short daily. That's the reason why we need to pray for one another too. We're not all going to live a perfect life. We're supposed to strive to. We're supposed to strive to live like Christ. I don't know that we ever get to that point, but we're supposed to try. And I always feel like I fall shorter than anybody else around me. I mean, I look at all y'all live better lives than I do. You know what I mean? We all probably picture everybody else that way. We just. But it's been good to be here. Anybody else got anything tonight? If not, thanks for your attention, and we ask Brother Brian if he would lead us in prayer.
Most kind of gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day you give us, Lord. Lord, we just thank you for all the many blessings of life you bestowed upon us. Lord, thank you for the health and strength. Be your master now, Lord. We get to be here, and have time to fellowship, and learn more about you, Lord. And God, we just pray that you just help us as we look through your word, Lord. We just pray that you just always open our hearts and our minds, that we be receptive of your word, and learn from it, and humbly just see all of your goodness, our Lord, in your word. We just pray we take it out to the lost and dying world, and most importantly, Lord, that they would see how they need you as their Savior, of course, their lives is your way. God, just get to know the blessings that you have for us. Lord, we just pray that we be a blessing to you. It's our heart's desire, Lord, just to be used. We pray you use us. We be obedient. God, we just ask you that you be with me sick around the Baptist ones that's been mentioned tonight, Lord. And in each and every situation there, Lord, be with those that's lost loved ones. Lord, we pray most of all for the lost, Lord. We pray they accept you as their Savior for us everlasting too late. Lord, as we go through the rest of